Hi, I'd say these are some fun house facades, and in today's video I'll go over exactly how I made this in a matter of minutes, so stay tuned. Now before we get into AI content creation, let me make it clear. If someone claims that AI can create complete shows for you, that's not exactly true. Now AI is quite capable in terms of content generation, but it's not advanced enough or sophisticated enough to make complete shows, at least not in practical sense. So you still need to have some level of video editing capabilities to make complete shows. Now that being said, let's move forward. So here's the app. It's called NightCanvas, and you might get a free trial based on when you sign up. As you can see, it's a fairly clean layout. There are two options mainly: generate image and video. So first you got to select that. In this case, we're creating a house facade, so we'll stay in the generate image section. Now you'll upload the map of your house. Okay, so here's my house map, and now I'll put in something like gingerbread house. Okay, something very basic. Let's give it a few seconds. It usually takes about 10 to 15 seconds. And there you go. As easy as that. It literally took us less than 10 seconds to get this done, which would take over an hour. And that's why paying 10 cents for something like this is absolutely worthwhile. And of course, you can save it pretty easy right there, and that's done. Now let me show off another feature here. Basically the house map. Now this is a standard 1920 by 1080, which is what most projectors have. In my case, this is my house map because I use two projectors. This is 1920 by 1080 for the front, and this is an Epson. I even forget. It's like a 4:3 aspect ratio. So the overall image is 2988 by 1080. So completely odd aspect ratio. Of course, no AI supports such weird aspect ratio image generation. So the software is designed such that it takes these weird image sizes, converts into something that the AI can handle, gives you an output in the right aspect ratio. So let's give it a go. In this example, again, we'll use gingerbread house, but for gingerbread house, usually there are a lot of decoration aspects. You can absolutely type everything up that you need, but if you're feeling lazy, you can just do enhance, and you can let AI take over that prompt aspect as well. So there's like candy cane pillars, frosted roof, things like that, gumdrop icing, icicles. All these things are cool, which I was probably lazy to type. So there you go, you got a pretty decent prompt. Again, I'll just hit generate. There you go. As you can see, in this case, it ignored the side of the house because, as you might imagine, it is fairly awkward. So it ignored it, but that's okay. We can give it another shot. I can just enhance this a little further, and you can easily generate two outputs, by the way. Okay. In this case, I've generated two outputs. Let's see how this goes. This is just a way to save time if you want to see multiple options in one go. There you go. In this particular scenario, you can clearly see this one is better. Let me expand it. For example, here's one option and here's the second. Of course, this one has way more things going on the side and it'll look cool. So you know what? I'm going to use this option. That's it. Done. So the gingerbread house is pretty much done. So I'd like to clear up one more aspect related to IP. So here, for example, if I type in iconic characters like Mickey Mouse, the AI model would reject it, because due to some IP related concerns, this is happening completely behind the scenes, and it also charges the software. So that's why you'll get an error like this where it'll say potentially remove iconic characters. So that's your cue to probably make this more generic. Okay. Let's also generate one of the most commonly used houses, which is extremely hard. Yes. There you go. This is exactly what this right here. In order to get this done, it will literally take a couple of days to get this. And here we got this in a matter of seconds. Now let's move to some Halloween related features. Something like spooky, the woods with skeletons, pumpkin, Halloween theme. Okay, here we go. Now this one's too spooky. I'm just gonna generate two images and let's see how this goes. And I'm intentionally showing you a couple of failed attempts, especially with the videos as well, so you know that anytime you ask AI to do a task, it may not exactly follow your prompts. I'll keep the prompt simple. Spooky. Let's see what. I had a typo with cabin, but let's see. There you go. There's some skeletons, pumpkins, ghosts. I'd say the prompt was fairly accurate. Okay, you know what? I want a bunch of ghosts. A bunch, or okay, I'll just say haunted. Okay, let's try. There we go. As you can see, there's a bunch of ghosts. And okay, this one. I think I like this one, so I'll use this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna download this. But as you can imagine, this is a show meant for people to watch outside. You can't just show a static image. It's not as cool. So you know what? Let's bring this to life. I'll head to generate video, upload the image that we just generated, and then I'm just gonna say, bring this to life with character and pumpkin. Okay. Let's see what this gets us. Just gonna give it a shot with a basic prompt. Okay, let's see. I mean, they're talking, but pumpkin, the dog. So there you go. As you can see, the skeletons are moving. We didn't have good luck with the pumpkins, but that's fine. Like I said, AI does not really follow your commands exactly, but even to get the skeletons come alive, that adds a lot to your show compared to showing a static image. Okay, I like this. There you go. Lots of mechanical stuff. So out of these two, I like this one. So let's see if I can bring this to life. As you can see, we see the gears moving. That's exactly what we wanted. So what I love here is, the gears are moving. I could do that, but this globe kind of thing spinning, I don't even know how I would manage to do that in DaVinci Resolve. Now let's have some fun. As you can see, here there are no rules and restrictions. All you're doing is creating something out of thin air. Has nothing to do with your house map or anything. For example, Halloween themed monster, Halloween theme. Okay, I'm just gonna enhance this prompt. Okay, I'll generate two just for fun in the essence of time. Oh, actually, also this is quite spooky. I don't think I was going for this spooky. So let me generate something fun. Go. The clean. Okay. There you go. I said that did a pretty good job. It's not really cute, but I'll use this one. Now, I'd like to go over a scenario where usually you have a scene and you want to transition to a scene. Of course, you can add different transitions, but I also have a transition feature right here under generate videos. I'm gonna get the first house, get this. I'll have this as the start scene and I'll have this as the end scene. With video generation, you can't really trust AI. You might have quite a few failed attempts. Say magical transformation. Do not move the. I have all these instructions in the back end already laid out, but I just sometimes prefer to add in extra instructions right here. In most cases, you will just use any random transition or from your video editing software like DaVinci Resolve. As you can see, the transformation did work, but it's not as magical as we imagined. That's why I said the transition feature and the bring to life feature, they're usually good for simple animations like getting the skeletons to move or getting the ghost to move. That's why you would use bring to life, but it's just there in case you absolutely need it. Okay. Now, let's import all the aspects that we just generated. So we have all these images right here. Now, I'll start with the Christmas stuff. This is my double-sided version. I'll show you how exactly this aligns. Let me turn on the inspector. Now, I'm using DaVinci Resolve. Of course, you can use any software that you like. I just want to show how this matches. As you can see on initial look, you might think that this does not align, but let me tell you that the aspect ratio is the exact same. Of course, you can do math behind the scene and get the exact zoom required, but I just wing it right here. That's it. Because, like I said, no AI model is going to generate an image that's 2988 by 1080. Okay, that's it. Literally matches my house. Okay, and then that's pretty much the same thing what you do for other images as well. So here, let me go into the skeleton scene. Here, let's check out the video again. The video does not seem to align, but all you need to do is change the zoom setting and it should match. It may not match 1-to-1, but it will be fairly close. Okay. And if you have a more standard shaped house, it'll match even better. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You'll use the same technique for the other content that you've generated and project on your house. And all the content that we generated today would take at least a few days if done manually. And most of it is not even possible unless you're extremely proficient with a 3D software like Blender to achieve those lighting effects and realistic look, especially those things like the Barbie house. Those are not even possible manually for most of us. And we were able to do all of that today in a matter of minutes. And that's the key benefit of AI. And that's pretty much why I even used Photoleap with a paid membership, because if it helps me save days of efforts for a few bucks, that's absolutely worth it for me. The link to the software is down in the description. Feel free to use it and give me any feedback for enhancements and bug fixes.